Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Techtronics channel. Today, we're going to unleash the power and discover the best Android emulator. Uh, let's start it off. Okay, so yeah, welcome back to the channel. The whole idea behind this channel is if I have a technical project to do, I share it here. Note the idea in the video itself could be the project. Be sure to check your subscriptions, make sure you hit the notifications, share the video, and like the video on your way in. You could also find Tech Teamtronics on Twitter, now known as X. That's what we look like. That's our handle, and that's where you'll find us. I am Paulie D. And your support, yes, your support is greatly appreciated. I have a link tree links in the description area of the video. It's not a money grab, but it's just a bunch of links of things that I do that would be pretty cool. Now let's get into it. Um, the Android emulator is a software that allows you to run Android apps and games on your computer. It's very useful for people who want to play mobile games on a bigger screen. That's me. Or test apps before releasing them. That's another function of it too. There are several Android emulators available, but some of the most popular ones include BlueStacks, Nox Player, and Memu. And there are a couple that we go through here, so stay tuned for the video, and we'll take a look at which each one's involved, some of the successes and some of the failures that I've had with each and every or. Um, so BlueStacks is one of the oldest and most well-known Android emulators. It offers a user-friendly interface and supports both Windows and Mac operating systems. With BlueStacks, you can easily download and install any Android app or game from the Google Play Store. Nox is the player. It's another great emulator. We didn't cover Nox in this video, but we will cover it in a future video if we get around to it. And then we have such as keyboard mapping and game board support. It also allows you to customize the emulator settings to optimize performance. Memu is pretty good. Memu is pretty stable for me. It's known for its fast performance and compatibility with various Android versions. It supports multiple instances, which means you could run multiple apps or games simultaneously. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at several of these emulators and see which ones are best suited for you and for me. So the ones that I worked with in this video are BlueStacks, Memu Play, Android Studio, Bliss OS, and Game Loop. Now some of them I could get to work. Some of them I had a little difficulty because I had a Hyper-V issue or something of that nature. But my favorites I will tell you later in the video. So we're gonna start with BlueStacks. I am very familiar with BlueStacks. I've worked with BlueStacks. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna demonstrate installing it and the downloading and installation process. And it's pretty straightforward. Now, the things that I didn't like about BlueStacks that I felt were that it was system resource intensive and games would crash. That's my experience with it. But so this is I'm trying to install it right now on the laptop to see if I can get it running for you. I do have it installed on another device for demonstration purposes. Um, but I'm just being lazy and didn't want to go into the BIOS of the machine that I'm installing it on right now. It's no, it's not a big issue, but I just didn't go to the BIOS on that and select the correct Hyper-V settings. And you'll see that later. But it's extracting files. It's a process. You have to be patient. You have to wait through it. You can see that BlueStacks has quite a bit of history, like 2011 through 2023. Now it's GG Incorporated. All right. So it's finishing the post installation steps. And this is probably, you want to disable your antivirus. I never do that. I just, if it does create an issue, then that's when I would. Uh, so we're ready to run BlueStacks, and all I want to do is play the game, play my Tunk game. So now the player, the GG, now GG is loading. It's called now.gg, I guess. And that's what the basic interface looks like. There's another part of it that you need to install. You get all these premium games. You can explore that if you want to. A gaming wallet and all that good stuff. So basically, I want to go check my settings. And this is the basic settings, but you can check your languages and stuff like that. But this is not the part of the software that I want. Let's see. I'm going to maximize the screen. And then you have all your different options. You want the app player. And so it goes with this message. BlueStacks requires certain Windows settings to function properly. So I click continue. It queries me if I want to make changes to the system. It says please wait while BlueStacks performs the necessary actions. And this is on my laptop. And then it says the process completed successfully. So say I restart and I just want to load my player so I can play the game. Maximize the screen. Just want to play Talk King. And we got it to load. And this is on a separate system just to see that it's BlueStacks will work for a while, but what happens is my experience is it's I don't know if I have my settings right or whatever, but it might like crash or something like that. That's the experience that I've had with it. So we'll just sit through and I'll play this game of Tunk. For you guys that don't know what Tunk is, Tunk is, I'm told, is like Rummy. I never played Rummy. All I know is Tunk. And this is the game that I actually want to use the Android emulator for because playing it on my phone doesn't suit me well. I need the big screen in order to see the cards that I'm playing. And just as a reminder, we are using BlueStacks right now. The motion is pretty smooth. So I'm going to play this round, see if I can win. And basically, just want to demonstrate that that it's working. It's my second go-to as far as if the other one doesn't work. But I've had more experience with this in the past. I've tried all the different settings. I've tried all kinds of different things like that. So right now I'm just grabbing that card. And we still have, stay tuned, we still have a number of Android emulators to go through. Some of them may work, some of them I may not be able to get to work for whatever reason, but it sure makes for an interesting video. So basically, I'm playing this hand of cards, and I'm waiting for the six. And actually, when you play like this, it's really difficult because you have like two other players, including me, and it's hard to get the card that you want to make your sweets flow, if you know what I mean. And in this case, we actually made the sweet flow, and I actually won the game with a spread, and I was out. The thing is that they show you some ads in the apps. Now, my personal favorite is Memu Play because it's solid, it's reliable, and I've played many hours on it without. I mean, I've had crashes on it before, but it doesn't crash as often as say BlueStacks would. So we're gonna just get into Memu Play, and we are gonna go ahead and we are gonna run my Tonk King game. Now, for some reason, my video here may not do the motion justice because something was wrong with the capture between the capture and the game. So I'm not really happy with the motion, but we'll just go ahead and play around and see how it's laggy for some reason. And this is Memu. So I don't know if it's the app or it's my system. But I find that running these is best on, like, say, a gaming system, you know? So collect our rewards, and then we'll go ahead and play our no knock. So we'll just wait for a player. And this time I didn't get so lucky with the hand. And that's what makes this game a challenge. But it's a little laggy. And what I have is a half made up hand. And I didn't get my cards in time to beat the opponent. Boo-hoo. All right, so basically we're just gonna, I mean, and that's what the beauty of this card game is. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. So I'm gonna pluck from the deck and basically, see what happens. I shouldn't have threw that card out because she grabbed it, and that was it. That was curtains for me. Well, sorta. So I throw the ace out, and boom. I think we're getting close to that point. So I'm just not getting anything in this hand. And see what we have. So I got beat in this game, but you can see the little lagginess. Now we're going to try Android Studio. Android Studio is more for the developers. It's a little bit more complicated. Um, so if you just want to run a basic virtual device manager, and then what I do is I have like the emulator that I'm going to launch. I'm going to allow access to the firewall. And what it loads behind me is this phone screen. So what I want to do is power it on. And the trick is you want to be a little patient with it as it powers on because it takes a while for the Google operating system to load and such. So while I'm waiting for it to load, I get a little impatient, hit the power button again, but it's best to wait. While we're at it, we'll look at more and see what the other options are. I mean, this is pretty, um, detailed system for Android. So it's a little more than what you want if you're just like me at this point and just wanting to play a game. So I'm just playing around with some of the settings, just see what you could do, and just going through and seeing while this system loads. And it takes a minute. I guess I'm running it on my laptop, so it says Pixel is starting. So you could play games on this system if you want to. I didn't because it just seemed a little bit more memory intensive and system resource intensive than what I would want. So, like, I was looking at the bug report feature. Then you got recording and playback. You could test your apps, record and playback, make a video out of them, and that sort of thing, which is really cool. So there's a lot of cool features that I would love to hope to explore one day. But it's resource intensive, running it off my laptop, which isn't the fastest one in the box. But you can see that it's a little more than, playing the game we want. But if you are a developer, and hopefully we can get some projects where we can develop something and use it. Next, I go for Bliss OS. Now, Bliss OS is a live CD with the installer. For some reason, I'll let you know that I tried to run the live disk. Well, I just went straight for the installer in this case just to see what I could do. And it's, if you have a system that you want to install it on. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to go into the back screens and try to set up a partition. Um, I tried to use GPT, warning non-GPT or damage disk detected. This program will attempt to convert it, maybe that wasn't the thing that I wanted to do, but what I'm doing is just basically going and creating a partition using cgdisk 1.0.0, and it's really easy to do if that's what you want to do. But if you want simple install and play, Memu and BlueStacks are the way to go. This is a little bit more if you want to dedicate the device to an Android you know emulator. So I format the drive to ext4. All data will be lost in the partition. I say yes. It goes. It does its thing. Checks. And do you want to install bootloader? Maybe I should have installed the bootloader because for some reason I just couldn't get it to boot. I really wanted to see what this looked like and what it smelled like and what it ran like and how fast it was. But all I could really do was get Bliss OS to do this for me. But that's okay. Um, I didn't really need a dedicated system with Android, so I tried that in a previous video by installing an Android operating system, Android x86, on a device I own, which I ended up taking it off and installing Windows instead. Um, so basically, it took me back to the screen. I don't understand. Maybe I should have VM'd in other options. So we went on to Game Loop, and in Game Loop, basically, it's one that you want to install, and I'm installing it on my laptop. So this is the install process, and essentially, it's installing the Game Loop. What we want to do is allow the process to continue. Then we start it, and then it has its interesting window and interface. So it's loading right now, and we'll just give it a minute to load. Okay, there it is. It's starting to come in. And what we find is that we have all the stuff. You can install everything from Pokemon to Monopoly Go to Instagram. Uh, so it looks a little like, hey, where do I go from here? And you can install themes, you can log into it, you can do update checks about diagnostic tools, settings, etc. Um, so we wanted to go, say, take a look at their library and see what's available. And then also they have a store that you could check out. So, you know, I had a little difficulty finding what I wanted. So what I did was I ended up, say, looking at the different things, but see what was downloading as well. Nothing, no download task. Then you have that. So I was kind of lost here. Okay. So you can log in with your Facebook or you can log in with Google. I chose to see if I could play my game and see if it'll install. Game Loot hasn't included this game yet. Google Play Store component will be installed soon, so you can install this game from Google Play Store to Game Loot. A little complication there, nothing major, but no big deal. So we tried to install our game. It took a little while, and this is what it involved. So it's installing the engine. And I ultimately didn't get the game to run because it wanted something to do with Hyper-V, which once again, I didn't have the correct Hyper-V settings for this laptop. Maybe one day I will do correct Hyper-V settings for the laptop to make sure that I can install these things and different things like that. So it's going through installing the engine, and it's 100% verifying. Okay, so we'll try to see if we could play our game here. Because I know most of you are like, I don't want to do development. I just want to, install the game and play. And then there's a time that maybe I do want to do involve development. And then, then I would use the Android program. So I got the incompatible Hyper-V settings running. So you've been watching Unleash the Power, discover the best Android emulator. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, check your notifications. The whole idea behind this channel is if I have a technical project to do, I share here. The idea in the video itself could be the technical project. Make sure you're subscribed, check your notifications, share the video, like the video. It certainly helps the algorithm and helps the channel grow. You can also follow us on X, as known as Twitter. That's our handle, that's our page. We will do our best to notify you of upcoming videos in addition to the notifications on YouTube. And also, too, we want to thank you for your support. It's greatly appreciated. You can visit Linktree, link in the description area of the video. It's not a money grab. There's all kinds of stuff, too, that you probably might find interesting. And thanks for watching.